Well,
Yeah.
let's start at least. Let's call this meeting to order. It is 7:05 according to my clock. Um, Review minutes. Grace did send them to me today, but I did not get them formatted to send out to everybody. So we will talk about that next time.
Yeah.
Um,
Are
and
we doing, who's doing minutes for this week or?
that's a good question. I thought Grace was gonna come, but anybody want to volunteer?
Maybe the AI will do it.
I mean, we can also base them off of my notes. That's fine too, probably. News about Concord Farms and Farmers. How's everybody handling the flooding?
Yeah, I was walking out in the fields today and boy, is it wet.
Yeah.
That hasn't bothered us so much as we lost a good chunk of roof off the indoor, the old freestyle barn.
You're
Really?
kidding.
The piece about 20 by 40 that just took off in the air and bounced on top of the produce area, and then it landed another 50 feet away after it knocked off the electrical mast for the power entrance. So it traveled about 100 feet intact.
Did you lose power?
Yeah,
Wow.
this was a couple of weeks ago in one of the other storms. But we lost power last night.
Wow.
Wow,
The
Steve.
night before last, I guess. Yeah.
What was it, like aluminum or?
Yeah.
Wow.
The whole section came off with the purlins and all, just flew like a flying saucer.
Whoa.
Jesus, God.
Did anybody get hurt? Was it at
No,
night?
no.
Nobody got hurt. Wow. Well, that's terrifying. Oh boy.
We had a bunch of big old pines come down. Where
yeah.
Yeah.
From Pine Tree Farm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. No, we were just watching the Concord River look at today. It's pretty high again.
Oh, it'd be higher tomorrow, probably.
Yeah. It was
There's more coming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's the next one?
Rain.
When is that coming?
Tomorrow night.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
I'm glad we're not currently, there's nothing currently planted in the field, but oh God.
You order some rice seed?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What? It's crazy.
Well, the deer have trampled our garlic, so I hope not too much of it's damaged. But
We have a lot of deer and a lot of turkeys. And we're very worried about the turkeys.
Yeah.
We can fence the deer out easier than we can turkeys.
right.
And they destroyed quite a bit of lettuce last season.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny when you have one or two turkeys, it's kind of cute and it's all right. But then where there are two, all of a sudden there are four, and then before you know it, there are 8 turkeys, and that's
then there's
two
25.
Right. That
Yeah,
happens
well,
with the
well,
Canadian geese. You see a couple, and next thing you know, you have a whole flock wandering around.
Yeah, that's been like the Canadian geese in particular have been wreaking havoc with us. Just there's like 60 of them or something in this.
Oh.
It's just awful.
I don't sell turkey eggs in the spring or not.
Foraged turkey eggs.
We had someone come into the farm stand a couple of years ago, and then they said, "Do you have any wild goat milk?" Now, I don't know what they thought, that we're going to run around in the forest trying to find a goat and milk it. I don't really know how that would work. But
Never heard of that.
Just running after it like this.
it would be very expensive.
The deer though, even with the fencing, they like trample our fencing around our overwintered parsnips. So I don't think we're gonna have any springtime parsnips again.
God.
They just like went right through it. Does anybody else have any news about anything around town, farm related? Nope. All right, let's move on then. The next agenda item was the bag fee exemption article update, which actually, Mary, I presented at the
Preview.
yes, at the preview meeting.
Yep.
For the select board.
Yep.
That seemed to go okay.
Went well. Went really well.
And everybody seemed like, yep, that seems like a good idea. And so I guess the next step is you want me to present at another meeting. I wrote it down, the date. What's the next meeting actually called?
Okay, the next meeting is called a hearing, and it's a public hearing, and all of the articles get aired at the public hearing, and it's an opportunity for you to answer any questions. And then the last thing will be at town meeting. And actually, I have a list of the order of the articles at town meeting, so I'll find out when you're scheduled to go, what number you were assigned, and I'll let you know. But I'm really hoping that this article is on something called the consent agenda, which just gets approved en masse, so you don't have to talk to it individually. But you never know, so you gotta be prepared, but I don't think it's likely. But Eliza, I will find out what number you are on the list. Okay, and let you know.
And for the public hearing part, do you want do they want like a little PowerPoint?
Same thing you did at the
The thing is
preview.
fine?
The exact
Okay.
same thing. Yep.
I
So
don't
you're all
have to-
set. You're ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. All right, low tech, great.
Yeah. No, you're good.
So that's where we are on that, guys. That's the update. The moving on, we're just gonna go down the list. The nonprofit language for Ag Day. So I sent around
Yep.
in the email a copy of the old language we already had for 2023, talking about how nonprofits should be participating in Ag Day. And I put a couple options that Melissa had kind of workshopped at the bottom of like some things we could add. Does anybody have any comments, suggestions? Yay, nay, I hate this, let's start over.
I like option one. I like the idea of making people write out, express what their relationship is to the to farming. So I like option one.
I agree.
Great.
Yeah.
Have to make them put it down in words. They have to think about it for a minute instead of just, I don't know, checking a box or.
Yeah. So we definitely like
Xeroxing
to like make them write something in aspect. Like that is definitely a.
I like that idea. It
Right,
seems
he's nodding.
valid.
I see him.
Hey, Brian,
Oh,
Oh, you're muted, Brian.
you're muted.
There you go. There you are.
Sorry about that. New browser. Yeah, I think it doesn't seem like there's any shortage of nonprofits and so forth that are wanting to come. So you can make them jump through some hoops.
I think so too. Mary, did you get a chance to read it? What do you think?
I did, and yeah, I'm happy with whatever you want. I thought they were both fine, but I was struck by, you charge what, $10 to have a booth?
Yeah, we only charge the farmers 30.
And you charge the nonprofits 10?
10, but only if they're
Why?
selling. Otherwise, it's free.
Okay,
Maybe
I'm
we
on-
should charge them 30.
yeah. Yeah,
We mean,
yeah.
we could raise the fee if they're selling stuff. We could ask them to charge. The selling fee only came. We've always let them just be there for free. I think there was a history of not, needing people to come and fill the spots. That hasn't been the case in the past couple of years.
What do you
and
do
then-
with the money you collect? I don't know.
There's very little of it.
Yeah, I know. So you buy a cup of coffee, right?
Yeah. So far, it's just been collecting. We occasionally have needed the money to either print posters or do any sort of like promotion for the
Right.
Ag Day.
Right.
The past 2 or 3 years, Stone Soup has covered that for us. We have also used the money in that account to print the Guide to Concord Farms with the map before. Although
Mhm.
our last printing of that also Stone Soup covered because we didn't have nearly enough in the account. So right now there's not much in there, but there's a little. And that certainly
Well,
we
you
could,
know, in your town report, which you'll get to in a minute, I guess, you talk about how, you know, all the fees for farming have gone up, and you know, I'm sure people aren't surprised to hear that. $10 just seems such a small amount of money. It's, I don't know, I think you should be charging at least 30, and you do need money to, I mean, you're doing that ag day is a big effort, and any help you can get with the marketing and stuff, I think would be.
I mean, I certainly
That's
think,
what I think. It's up
Yeah.
to you. It's up to you. But I just saw $10. I mean, wow.
and that's really, that was only a fee we implemented this year, and that's only for people who were selling things. So that was really,
Yeah, yeah. I
Two.
don't know. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
up to you. It's up to you.
Well, they take up space.
they do.
How about $30 just to be, have a table there?
How about $30 just to be considered? It's the application.
Right.
That's an application fee.
It doesn't get you in, and it's
I'll tell
non-refundable if
you.
we decide
Yeah,
against you.
exactly.
I think we could certainly we can add that as an agenda item perhaps next time, and we can definitely talk about.
Well, we're still not gonna make very much money.
It's still not going to
No,
be.
it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
I think so much of it has been in the past is we just wanted their participation. We really didn't want their money. But I think the similar for the farmer's fee, we've kept that very low because we don't want any barrier to somebody not coming. And we want to make sure we get the most farmers there. So we've also
I
kept
think
that quite low.
I think we want to be sure that other ideas or organizations or themes don't take over the market, and agriculture isn't the primary part of the market.
Yeah.
If you're not closely allied with agriculture, it's like $1,000 or something. You can have a table about
It's not
anything.
allowed.
I mean,
It's
I think
not
it's
allowed.
been, it's really been at our discretion who's been in and who's been out because and I don't, honestly, until the past 2 ag days, we really haven't had the problem of having to turn anyone
Turning
away. Now
people
we do.
away.
I know, which is honestly a lovely luxury because there was, I mean, we had to turn away a few people, a few organizations this past year, and it was pretty easy to make that determination because it was like, oh, clearly this is related to agriculture and local food, and this isn't. Okay, that was an easy call. So it,
There
anyway,
are some gray areas though.
there are, and that's where it gets a little tricky. I think if people can make the connection, then it fits really well, but they have to make the connection.
Like, who would you say would have trouble that we normally have in making the connection? Or
I would like right now we have like the light plant does their like really big push for heat pumps and stuff like that there. I think that would be, it's certainly environmentally related, so it sort of has always felt in a category, but how is that exactly related to local agriculture might be something they have to think about a little bit more. I mean, I think there are places that are now installing heat pumps in farm stands and even in greenhouses, but that's something that's a little bit more on the edge.
Tenuous.
Maybe. Yeah. Whereas and even like the Housing Foundation that has been coming for the past few years, but they have a pretty clear link because they're involved in Barrett's Mills housing and they're involved in general in farmer housing.
he has farmers. So.
Yeah, so they have a way to make that link really work, I think.
Yeah, there's another thing where you have kind of seniority
Mm-hmm.
because there's a kind of inertia that you go there every year, even though you don't have a real clear connection to agriculture, but you were there from the get-go. So
I mean, that's the light plant has been there for a long time now, and they are very flexible. They're the first to respond. They show up with a full booth, like they're great.
Well, just for the sake of argument, Do you think by having this new language, we would discourage something like the light plan or someone who's been coming for a long time? That we might want to have come, or I don't know.
It is the light plant that hangs a banner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
they often bring, yeah, they hang the banner for us so they can talk about their promotion of agriculture because they have
Right.
waived their fee to do that. So that's certainly a promotion of agriculture.
Slam dunk, yep.
Mhm.
I think ultimately we have the say so. I mean, it's not like a weighted where
No.
you get so many points on a scorecard and it's
No,
basically us going yes or no.
I mean, the only advantage to option 2 is it's a little bit more open-ended. It's not requiring them to be as creative, which could be positive or negative. I don't know.
You just get AI to write it. It's fine.
Right. Brian, you might have missed this, but they were talking about maybe we'll have AI, not minutes, but a transcript
Summary.
of the Zoom.
Maybe we could have some members of the committee that are just AI.
We need more members.
We, we've got a quorum.
Can we put a face on them somehow?
I was gonna say between option 1 and option 2, we could take the please use the space below to share your organization's plans sentence from option 1 and tag it onto the bottom of option 2.
Yeah.
Because it's a little more vague, but then it asks them to write out what they are gonna do, and then we can base our decision off of that.
I like that idea because ultimately it's, we're making the decision. So it's not like, based on what they say that we necessarily have to give it.
Yeah.
So I would, if there were a vote, I would vote for that.
Okay,
I second your motion.
Yeah.
excellent.
Okay.
I say aye.
I'll make it an official motion.
Great. Grace, what do you think?
I think, hold on 1 second. Am I muted?
No,
Did
you're
I-
there.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I agree. I think that would work. I think that would be good.
Great. All right, we will go with moving that sentence to option 2 and doing that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, should we talk about our annual report for the town
You're here.
that I attempted to write?
I think it's
I
very
like
well
that.
written, very well written.
Right.
Guys, I'm not a writer.
That's good. I thought it was good.
I propose that we adopt it.
Yes.
Does anybody have any
second.
suggestions or anything? Thank you, Dan.
I thought it was perfect myself.
Perfect.
Yeah, really good.
Nobody
Leslie,
has
did you
any
have to put this, did you have to put this in a specific format?
There is a specific font and spacing and stuff that had to go together. And there were certain things that have to be included. So you have to have all the committee members' names and if they have a title for 2023. You need to put in what your committee is like charged with. You don't have to write the full charge, but like what do you do? And then it was like if you did any major events or any major legislation or something like that.
Great, okay, good.
I thought it captured just the right amount of despair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was trying to be realistic, but not too whiny. All right,
well,
Dan.
wait,
Dan,
can I ask a question?
yes.
Has it really gotten harder over these last few years? Has it really gotten
Yeah.
harder?
Seems
This
like
last summer was brutal.
Okay,
And
and
the year before was
the drought,
very
Was also
dry,
awful.
but if you had water, you were all right.
right,
And
okay,
the year before that, it was brutal because it was pretty much as wet as last year,
that's
Yeah.
right.
previous year.
I
So we're still
think
waiting for that Goldilocks year.
I think a combo of the weather and then real like jumps in cost since the pandemic have really put like the combination of the weather issues and then the real jump in input costs has really made the past few years feel extra hard.
Okay.
And minimum wage.
Yeah, and the minimum
Oh,
wage
yeah,
going up,
that's the
and
big
then
one.
yeah,
And
just-
nobody will work for minimum wage, at least for
No,
us.
no, we have to be paying more. So just
I mean, there's this idea that, you know, people don't want to raise minimum wage because the corporate owners are just like gathering
Right.
money. And it's really not that, we're just trying to stay in business, and it's not like we're getting rich.
Yeah.
And we want to pay our people, you know, well. But the frame of reference from going from, okay, this is how we pay people, and then it's double in like 7 years or something like that, is just crazy.
I think the not just labor costs, but also just like all the costs
All
have
the
really
Yeah,
skyrocketed.
fertilizer.
And we've heard all the good news that inflation on groceries is going down. And groceries is what we sell. So we can only keep our prices up. You know, you can only go so far away from the grocery store price
Yeah.
before you start to look like you're a wacko.
Right.
So you're still saddled with supply costs and labor costs, and yet the cost of the stuff that you're producing is like that stuff, you know, is basically
We really are competing with Central and South America.
Yeah.
They set the prices on a lot of things, really.
Have you thought of putting an article in the Concord Bridge to kind of let, not now, but maybe in the summer, let people know how important it is to, just an idea,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
shop
Good idea.
local and
Yeah.
what you've been through. I mean, nobody reads the town, very few people
Read the town
say
report.
this, but I don't think
Oh.
a lot of people
Yeah.
read the town report, to tell you the truth. Kind of dense, you know? I mean, it's a good reference. It's a great reference to have, but nobody sits down and, you know, reads it cover to cover. But people read the bridge.
That's a
Yeah.
really good idea.
not too whiny though.
Yeah, I know. We gotta be careful.
We're gonna have Liza write it.
But you've got a great story to tell, and I think people are interested. I mean, I interviewed a guy the other day for another committee in town, and I asked him why he moved to Concord, and he said, I forget. He had two reasons, and one of them was the farms.
Really?
Really? Yes. So
Nice.
that was cool.
So yeah, maybe we should talk about. I don't know if can you do that? Can you just like write an article and ask to submit to the bridge?
I'm sure.
You'd have to contact them and ask them if they'd
If they do like
Yeah.
a guest spot.
yeah. And I mean, I know people at the bridge. I can give you some names when you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, but maybe
Yeah.
we should, in like late spring or something when we're kind of starting
Yeah.
to open. That might be a
Yeah.
good thought.
Maybe right around the time of the forum.
Yeah. The forum might be a little early, but certainly right, yeah, like right about that like gear up time. Yeah.
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 It
Like,
depends. If it stays wet, we'll do it then. But if it dries out, it all depends. We got to get like the right hardship. We've got to find like that right time.
Yeah, we can't be complaining about wet if it's totally bone dry
Right,
outside.
right.
Turkeys and deer, you know.
Yes.
Maybe about the
We
pest
gotta have
problem.
2 stories depending on the weather.
Yeah. Excellent. All right, so wait, back to the annual report. I saw Dan proposed we adopt it as is. Does
I'll
anyone
second.
Thank you, Grace. And can we get a quick vote on that one? Just make sure everybody's on the same page. Yes, thank you
Aye.
all.
Yes, I.
All right, so approved. I will send that in. The other thing about that is they did ask for a couple photos. I do have a few from Ag Day, but if anybody's got like an awesome photo, and can send it to me either tonight or tomorrow morning, that would be awesome. But I have some pretty good ones. I have a couple of some veggie raisers and some just like crowd shots at Ag Day too. So, okay. Where were we? Losing it.
Spring Forum.
Spring Forum. Oh, Spring Forum. All right. Spring Forum update. So, I reached out to both Harvey Wheeler and the library. They both have space openings weekday evenings in early April. The library is extremely interested in a topic on climate change and local farming, and would love to host this event in the Goodwin Forum and help us promote it. They just need to know more, you know, date, etc. What are we doing? But they were extreme response, I would say, which was nice.
What kind of space do they have?
Have you been in there, the Goodwin Forum?
I haven't.
It's nice. It's like, I would probably a similar size to Harvey Wheeler.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's a
nicer.
little smaller,
Yeah,
but
maybe a little
nicer.
smaller.
It's nicer.
It's
yeah.
nicer. They also do a lot of the promotion, like they heavily promote stuff, so that it might be a really good partnership in general to have, to sort of see if we can work with the library more on promoting stuff.
Will they also coincide to have the Ag Day book sale to help us out, you know?
Well, they did, what did they do this year? They did the
A music concert.
the concert. That's what I'm gonna think of, what's the word? They did the concert this year, and they've been a real big. They're the reason for the original. How do you make the connection at Ag Day if you're selling something conversation? But they really were like, we're gonna sell agriculture books. We're gonna they really went for it, which was really, really nice. Anyway, the other update is I did reach out to NOAA about potentially getting a speaker from there, and they were very interested, and that would be free. And as well as I also heard back from our NCRS office in Westford, they also were interested in sending a speaker, potentially working, they work pretty closely with NOAA, I think, and they know a lot of people. So potentially having a speaker from NOAA and a speaker from NCRS, and then following that with a farmer panel. So talking about climate change sort of across New England, but sort of more specifically in Eastern Massachusetts, and then having a farmer panel follow up, talking about, you know, personal experience with climate change and how have we been dealing with it on farms, changes in practices, cover cropping, whatever we want to talk about. So that was a pretty positive response. I haven't nailed anybody down yet, but I did get a lot of positive. We want to talk about this. This would be great. Early April's awesome. We'll just check our schedules. Let's see if we can find somebody to help you responses.
Do we need to set a date so that it can be firmed up with people?
I think my big thing is if we get, Ellen, what is her name? From NOAA is a pretty tight schedule. She seemed like she was interested in speaking. She may be the one, if she agrees to do it, we may have to go on her schedule. I cannot remember her title. It's probably in my email. But she's like the Northeast Policy Director for NOAA. I'm probably quoting that wrong. So I think if we get further along when we need to set a date, but I think right now it may be, if we can get a really good speaker, I'd rather be at their, whatever their schedules dictates.
Right.
But right now, both the library and Harvey Wheeler are wide open during that time frame.
So if she has a set date, should you go ahead with it? In other words, maybe it's the kind of thing that you could just do rather than wait for the next Ag committee meeting.
You all give me permission to, I can do that.
Well, I propose that we give Liza permission to go with the date if it's required to nail down the speaker.
Giving her too much power.
I know, I'm gonna get drunk. Drunk on
I'm
power.
trying to push it away from myself.
I'm for it, yeah,
Do we need a second on that?
probably.
I will second. if I
All right.
may.
Thanks, Joe. I promise I won't abuse my power. Who would want to be on a farmer panel? That's not me.
I guess I've avoided these things. I would do it.
Yes. I saw Brian's hand.
Brian. How about Steve? How do you feel?
Well, if you need more.
Yep.
Okay.
We need a big chorus of lines.
You want to
Um,
be in a panel, Grace?
Thanks. Come join in.
You're
Neil,
muted.
Hello?
Hi, Grace.
yes,
Sorry, my dog keeps barking and I feel bad. That's why I keep it muted. Because I can't mute him. What is, what was, what was the question?
You want to be on the panel?
For
Oh.
that spring forum?
I think I'll pass on that.
Grace sounds like me.
I can help set up chairs. I'll do whatever you need, but as far as the panel goes, I'm good. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
right.
I wonder if we could also voluntold Melissa or Lise into doing this.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
Sure.
That's a good use of your power.
Thanks, Chris.
Sorry, you can't say no.
Yeah.
I'll ask Melissa and Lise, see if we can get one of them.
Committee voted that way.
How about Mark?
That's also a person to ask. Yep. Mark might be into it. I thought Mark was actually going to come tonight, but I guess he didn't. He might be into that though. Especially because they're doing kind of different stuff at Gaining Ground, so it might be a nice diversity. Okay. So is everybody comfortable with what we're doing for the spring forum? Like everybody's like, yep, this is a good direction. We feel good about this.
We've talked about how disaster the weather's been. And, one might make an argument this is
Yeah.
caused by environmental conditions.
I think it's good. I think that there's a lot of people interested in this topic, especially after having such kind of a wild weather year. So I think there's a lot of interest. All right. Well, I'll follow up with everybody I've already talked to and see if we can get anybody to commit, and then we'll go from there. Additional ag committee members for the spring. The reason I bring this up is, wait, now I got to find it in my email. Some of us are coming up on our second term, so we can't be reappointed. And now, of course, I can't find that email. Hang on. Happy's term expires in May, and that is her second term. Melissa also expires in May, and that is her second term. And Grace expires in May, but that's just her first term, so she is eligible for reappointment. So we potentially have 2 slots coming open.
I kind of given up on Ricky Marshall, but I was thinking maybe Michael Jaleo would be a good possibility. Colonial Garden.
Yeah,
I'm probably eligible again, I think.
you are.
Oh, I think that's a good one.
I'm here anyway.
No pressure, Brian.
So we've taken care of one slot.
The other thought is Mark had expressed interest in doing more with the ag committee. I wonder if we could also
Try to
him to maybe.
twist the arm.
Okay. All
And
right.
Mark's at Gaining Ground.
Mark's now the director of agriculture at Gaining Ground,
Okay.
so he is back farming in Concord. I don't think he lives in Concord, but he will be back farming in Concord. Brian, we should start getting Ted to come to these things.
Yeah.
He's for you, the guy that works for you,
He lives in Concord. He's a farmer.
right?
So it sounds like there's maybe some people Steve, do you want to reach out to Michael and just see if he has any interest in participating or come into a meeting and checking it out?
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Okay, great.
You know, a couple times, Steve, you mentioned Eric Nelson. I don't know if
All
that's
right. He lives in Concord, farms in Concord, and the headquarters is in Acton.
What was the last thing, Steve?
The headquarters is in Acton.
Oh, right, yeah.
Has he come to an ag committee meeting before?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He just retired from the fire department,
Oh,
his side job.
John. Was he on the Acton Fire Department or the Concord Fire Department?
Not Concord.
Concord.
Concord. Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we ask around. And Brian, if you sound like you maybe are interested, then maybe we only
I'm
have
here
one slot.
anyway. I might as well.
You
get
might as
to-
well
Might as well do it.
participate.
You're here, right?
You're coming to the meetings anyway.
Yeah,
Do I have to show up on time though?
Kind of.
All right, so that's good. So we have some leads on potential people, so that's wonderful. And remember, just again, as I told Melissa, just because you're off, that means you can come back on a term later. So
Right.
don't think you can get that far away.
Have you talked to Ricky, Liza?
I haven't talked to him recently. I talked to him like in the fall, and he seemed like he was interested, but then he never came. So
That seems to be.
yeah, I mean, he definitely seems like he has his hands full between the
Yeah.
kids and the farm, and but it's he may just be too busy right now. But I hope we'll at least get him in the next few years or something. Other business. I had one piece of other business that is not exactly a fun piece of business, but I was just, and I feel bad bringing this up because Mary's here, but the tax, we just got our tax bill at the farm. And we have like the farm property is one property that is like taxed a certain rate, but then we have Brian's house basically, which is housing, and we got quite an increase. And I was just wondering, is anybody else experiencing that, or are we sort of like alone because of our kind of unique situation?
We've had things go up.
Yeah. This was a big jump. Hi, Mary. You're muted.
You're mute, Mary, you're
Mary,
muted.
muted.
There you go. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people's tax bills went up this
Yeah.
year, and there's several reasons why. They fall into like 4 categories. One is because we borrowed money for the middle school.
Mhm.
One is because we're just spending a lot of money on everything. One is the valuation of property went up quite a bit. That went up a lot. And then the residential tax exemption hurt some people. So if you wanted to know for your own property how to break those 4 variables down into, okay, how much of my increase was because of each one of these variables, the town is putting a calculator up on the website. It's not available yet, but hopefully it will be soon, where you can just go in and it will tell you out of those 4 factors, which ones, how much went up because of each one of those. So,
Got it.
so I'll leave it at that. So
Yeah.
it's valuations went up, we're spending, we borrowed money for the middle school, and then again, the residential tax exemption benefited most people, but it hurt some people. So that's all I'll say.
No, I think
know-
I just was looking at our valuation went like way up. And I was
Yeah,
like,
so
We
did
were in the
mine.
hurt category too.
yeah. it was-
So did, yeah,
Big
yeah,
hurt.
that was well, it is what
Yeah.
it is.
No, it is what it is. I think it was, I don't, and part of it is like, our renters are our employees, so I can't raise their rent.
Right.
So we're just
Yeah.
gonna have to eat a very,
Well-
very big bill that we weren't fully
Uh,
expected.
I know housing,
Whoever-
for the, I know housing for temporary workers, we just got the bill finally on that, and that's gonna be about 15,000 a year.
Liza, have you ever thought of becoming a nonprofit? I
We're
mean,
almost-
make it official.
We're almost there.
I was gonna say, we're almost there right now. We're barely making a profit. Couple more years like this one, sure. Yeah, I've thought about it.
Definitely helps with not having a large tax bill.
Yeah, it's just the farm, it's the worker housing is what it is. Cause the worker housing is like, everything else is like, well, the farmland's, reduced. We got, 61A and there's other sort of stuff that goes into that. Like we have APR on it. But yeah, just the house was like,
Yeah,
shit.
overall, our taxes are over 100,000.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow. Oh, my golly.
crazy.
That's a lot of carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
Holy crap.
Are they naming a wing of the middle school for you?
So maybe Steve, you should go nonprofit.
It was definitely. Woo. Does anybody else have any other business?
So Liza, I looked up where you are on the roster for the town meeting, and your article for the bag
Mhm.
exemption is 30 out of 53 articles. So that means if you've got to present, it will probably be on the second night, which would
Okay.
be April 30th.
Okay.
So don't plan anything for April 30th.
I will not. I
No.
will put it on my calendar.
Otherwise, I'll have to do it, and I won't do it justice.
All right. And public comment. Lois.
Yeah, I enjoy your meetings. It's not it's not official, but I happened to go to the Solar Advisory Committee's meeting the other night. And we did bring up about the possibility of pollinator plants being part of that, the solar displays, that there's a movement and there is like this minuscule amount of funding to put pollinator plants like between the rows of the so what do you call them, the big pieces of
Panels?
the panels. Yeah, it's getting late. This is past my bedtime. Yeah, past my bedtime. I go to bed at about 7:30 and have for years. So there's a little bit of a connect there, and the pollinator people, I'm sure we're hoping that we fill out our correct things on time and don't forget about come Ag Day, because that's been something that we've really enjoyed tremendously.
Yeah.
And it's a way of connecting with, individual people who are growing things. And there was that, and what else did I write? Yeah, that was the biggest thing, the pollinator plants so that kind of connects the electric company. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so amazing how everything's connected. And then Steve, I mentioned that that we're doing with the other thing is the cooperation with the library is amazing in terms of publicity and registration for things. They're incredibly good. Laura Mills has helped us a lot from Fowler Library to publicize things. And one of the things this weekend, we have winter sowing event at Steve's in this greenhouse. And we were supposed to have it last week, but everything got kind of washed. But the library was really good at updating everybody, doing all of that kind of thing. So there's some really good help that the library has in terms of getting keeping your project in the right communication levels.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just come because I'm curious on how things work together. I'm not an official, just so everybody understands, I'm not like an official pollinator person, that's Steve. Which, but I'm just trying to learn how things all interact and work together, hopefully. And I guess some of the fields, gaining ground, they put pollinated plants around the edges. And I guess some of you guys and gals do that too of your fields. You put plants particularly aimed at pollinators because you need them. So anyway, and we'll look forward to your forum in April.
Thanks for participating. It's nice to have you here.
Well, thank you. I love your meetings. It's the best. Well, it's like real people doing real things that count every day.
Oh, good.
I really
Sometimes,
appreciate that a lot.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any other public comment? Nope. Everybody's looking at me. Next meeting, February 8th. Does that look good for folks?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah.
good.
Second Thursday. Is there anything else we need to talk about? We like zoomed through that, guys.
Yeah, less than an hour.
I know. Wow.
Enjoy the next rain.
Would anybody like to motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Grace.
Second.
Steve seconds. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you. We'll see you next month.
Bye.
Over
Bye-bye.
and out.
Bye.